we were looking for some new ways to let our daughters experience being entrepreneurs because they couldn't do garage sales the way that they used to.
Right. The new house required permits. Well, actually, you can't have garage sales where we live now.
Right. And so we found a product that was really good and did a really good job on cleaning oil stains out of concrete. And it was through my work. And so we thought, wow, this would be cool for two reasons. We could give the girls a unique thing that they could do to earn money because it doesn't require any equipment or don't have to have a location or anything like that. And then we could use them as spokespersons or models to show that if these little girls can use these products to get these kind of results, there's no reason why adults couldn't do the same thing. So
I think we had maybe we had your brother and then two other people that paid for their services to come and get oil stains.
Right. And then we made a flyer out of them cleaning an oil stain, and that flyer became a real big hit.
They were so.
And that's where we kind of came up with the name Grease Girls.
From there, both the girls have always had a love of cooking. They've always followed me in the kitchen from the time they could walk. And Riley, especially our oldest daughter, loved cooking and trying to figure out ways to make dinner for us. And she got this huge interest in wanting to be on TV and maybe be on one of the cooking shows. At that time, we would watch MasterChef Junior a lot. So we entered into some auditions that were local to our city. And she made it up past a few.
There were hundreds of kids auditioning, and she made it.
She made it almost onto the show, until the point where you get flown over to LA.
And they said she was going to be on it. They told us to be ready to fly out during a certain week, and then all of a sudden we just didn't hear from them again.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I had all this content because we'd spent about 4 months training to be on the show, which is actually like training to be in a sport or in the Olympics. And we would practice every day. I went ahead and submitted it to Food Network, and we would always watch Chopped Junior on our trips with you when we would go out of town. And we'd watch Chopped, and we did not realize that they had a Chopped Junior until I went online and was like, what else could we put all this content
Can
on?
I add something? Because you just hit on something. So before this time period, with the job that I was at, I traveled a lot.
Yes.
And because we were homeschooling and we made it a point to do things together as a family.
That's very good.
We spent a lot of time on the road together, and the kids got to be in more hotels the first 10 years of their life than you or I did the first 30 or 40 years of our lives.
Right.
But while we were there, because we didn't have cable at home, it gave y'all the opportunity to see some shows that we couldn't see at home.
Yes.
And y'all ended up watching a lot of cooking shows.
That's where she fell in love with MasterChef Junior and the show called Chopped that was on Food Network. And then that led to going and trying out for MasterChef Junior, almost making it onto the show. At the very end, they cut us off after 4 months. And then submitting our stuff to Food Network because they had a Chopped Junior that we were never aware. We never saw that. And actually they called us the day that I sent it in, they called us that night and said, we're interested, please send us more. And then the process started all over again, where we were practicing, sending in videos, tapes, submissions. And then summer of 2019, they called us and said, we want you to be on our Christmas special, Riley. So she got to be on Chopped Junior.
There'll be a link to the episode.
Yes, we need to put a link to the episode so people can watch that. People never go into detail as much anymore, telling you how they got to where they were. And I think it's important to give the details because we're not born knowing how to cook. Somebody has to teach you. And so it's not a natural skill that just comes natural. It takes somebody pouring that skill into you and then also wanting to receive it and say, okay, I'm going to practice this every day. And I'm happy to say that both the girls are really good cooks, but Riley really wanted to take it to that next level and try to compete with it. And so because of that, she wasn't at the level to be able to compete yet. And we had to train her to get to that level, which required every day for about an hour or 2 hours. So, okay, do it now. Okay, now you have these ingredients. We did like duck pate one time. We did, I gave her like the worst, grossest ingredients you could ever think of. And say, okay, make something good. And then we would all test it and eat it, not knowing what they didn't know what it was. Riley and I knew what it was, but Kirk and her sister didn't know what it was, and they would eat it and be like, "This is so good. What is it?" Stuffed pate. It's like, oh, that's so gross. And anyway, but she made it to the second round, which was is considered halfway through the show. She didn't win, but she won in our eyes because she made it there
Mm.
in front of thousands and thousands of other contestants, and then she made it halfway through the show. Um, and then after that, we were trying to think of a way. Okay, we're not making cookies, we're not doing the products, to do oil stains. What's something that the girls can do to make money now that's quickly? Again, what can we use? It's in front of us.
Right.
And we're already making meals on a regular basis. And we've had several people ask us at this time, can you make food for me? I'll pay you to make food for me. And so we had friends and family that paid us to make meals for them, basically. And both the girls would do that, and we called it Grease Girls because we were going off of the names.